know, just how much to show, to know what to do, just jump in the queue, it's all to you. So what you gonna do? All in the queue, it's hella to you. All in the queue, just check out the view. All in the queue. To be in the know, just go watch the show, to know what to do, just jump in the queue, it's hella to you. So what you gonna do? All in the queue, it's hella to you. All in the queue, it's check out the view. All in the queue. All in the queue, it's hella to you. All in the queue, just check out the view. All in the queue. To be in the know, just how much to show, to know what to do, just jump in the queue, it's hella to you. So what you gonna do? All in the queue, it's hella to you. All in the queue, just check out the view. All in the queue. To be in the know, just go watch the show, to know what to do, just jump in the queue, it's hella to you. So what you gonna do?
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing? I hope everybody can hear me. I hope everybody is doing well today. I am just popping on to do a post Thornton Township meeting talk, right? Because tomorrow I will be at the meeting and I don't really get to talk too much before the meeting, because the room begins to fill up with people and whatnot. And so I just wanted to come on and do like a post meeting talk, just a little talk, right? Let me get to speaking in the room. Let's see. Hey, Shanita, how you doing? Hey, Jody. Hey, Enrique. Hey, Jim C. Hey, Foxy2, Roxy3. Hey, French Rent. Hello. Okay. I did go by the township today and I picked up the budget because why? Because it's not online. I think did Paul Roberts, did he post the budget? He may have posted it. I don't know. Hey H Bag, how are you? I don't know if he posted the budget or not. But I have it. And I was going to talk about it. I was going to scan it in and talk about it after the meeting tomorrow. Because there's a few things on here that have caught my eye, and I have loads of questions about this budget, the general fund and the general assistance fund, right? And I'm sure that we all are still wondering what is, hold on one second. Hold on, y'all. Somebody's texting me. Hold on. Okay. All right, back. Hey, Mrs. Starks, how are you? I hope you well. How are you doing? I'm doing good. I am doing good. No complaints from me. Um, so I picked up the budget. I would love to go through this. We actually need to go through this. I have not, because you can't, I have FOID for it. So when it comes through FOID, I'll have it. I'll have it to show you guys. Oh yeah, stay hydrated. I'll have it to show you guys. I did FOID for it, so hopefully it comes tomorrow sometime. It's already done, so I shouldn't take that long to send me electronically. All she got to do is send it, right? That's what I feel like, but that's me. But I do have it here. And so let's discuss again this Napoleon Harris thing, right? I am not surprised at anything that is happening concerning him. He's a senator. He's a politician, right? Politicians lie. They do it every day. So for me, this was kind of expected. This is what I expected of him, right? I expected him to go back on his word. I expected him not to be responsive because he hadn't been responsive. He hadn't even came out and said anything. And this was another thing. I wasn't disappointed. I just felt like, okay, he's a true politician. Now we know, right? He made a statement to Ben Bradley that was very telling to me, right? The statement he made when Ben Bradley said, when Tiffany did this, did you speak, did you tried to block her from doing this? And he was talking about the salary thing. And he said, and I quote, "I never spoke out against her." And he never did. He never did. He never spoke out against her. I just thought it was interesting that that is the excuse that he would give, that I never spoke out against her. Go back and watch the Ben Bradley thing when he asked him. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up because that thing took me out. Hey, Shanita, I know you're not a new member, but thank you anyway. Let me see if I can find it. Because in that interview, he says, I never spoke out against her. I said, oh shoot. Hold on. Y'all give me one. Hold the line, please. This was just an informal talk today, and I'm not going to be on that long because I have a few things I need to do before I go to the meeting tomorrow. Let's see. I don't want that. I want. Let's see. Nope. I can't find what I'm looking for. So anyway, so go back and look at that Ben Bradley interview. I'm going to make a small video about this anyway. But go back and look at that interview. And when he asked him, he says, you tried to block Tiffany Hilliard from doing this exact same thing, right? Thank you. Thank you, Shanita, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Um, he says, I never spoke out against her. I thought that was an interesting comment that he made because he never did. He never did. He never wanted to say anything derogatory about her. He wanted to say, he would always say, oh, let's take the high road. We're going to take the high road. No, you never wanted to definitively state your position on her because maybe, possibly, allegedly, you knew what you were going to do when you got in this seat. That was the first comment that really, really disturbed me. Right? That comment. And then he never really engaged the public unless you paid to go to one of his events. You would have to pay to go to one of his events when he was campaigning, because people were saying he never said anything when he was campaigning. But he did. Hey, Tina Williams, how you doing? But he did. Hey, Justin, how you doing? But he did. He had events that you had to pay for, so you could go and hear him speak and ask him questions, but you had to pay to do so. He never did one that was open to the public, and free for just the public to come to. He never did that. Unless you went to the caucus, that was the only time that he has done something that was free to the public for them to come to, and they could ask him questions or whatever, or catch him then, right? And so he never did that. And he never responded to people asking for a debate. He never did that, right? um I feel like all of these things were happening, right? On my channel, I've always told you guys to research a candidate. I'm an independent, so I don't vote along any party lines. I vote for the person that best aligns with my morals and my ethics, and that's how I vote, right? And so I feel like that's what you should do. You should never vote along party lines. You should make sure you research and do your research. If the best candidate for you is a Republican, then vote that person. If it's a Democrat, if it's an independent, if it's the Green Party, whatever they are affiliating themselves with, right? You should just vote who you researched and who best aligns with you. Yes, we are Saint Center. How you doing? Um, and so he made those comments. He never spoke out, publicly against her, but he did make maneuvers to stop her from doing certain things behind the scenes. Those things he did do, right? And people saw that as a plus. People saw that as he was against her, but he never, he was against her in actions, they felt like, right? Um, but if you look at it, he never really was against her in actions. He was against her in maneuvers, right? He just outmaneuvered her for some things. Why? Because he's a part of the Democratic Party and they really don't talk against each other. That's something that you cannot do, right? You cannot come out and talk against somebody in your same party. Look at it. All of the people that have done that have essentially been casted out by the party. And so he never did that. And that's what he told Ben Bradley. I never spoke against her. That's what he told him. But then behind the scenes, he would make maneuvers to stop her from doing certain things as to look like he was against her, so that people, it's kind of like how you get a game plan. So you're going to set yourself up to be voted in, right? That's what you're going to do. You're going to make maneuvers so that people think, hey, he's not with her because he blocked her from doing this. Yeah, he blocked her maybe as a political move, to move on the seat, maybe. All of these things, you have to put together. And this is what happens in politics, right? Hey, status quo, how you doing? D maintenance man, what about the law he passed to keep the 2002 supervisor salary, but the law does not apply to the new trustees? Okay, so D maintenance, let me tell you what they do, right? So his particular his that part happened, right? Where they passed this law and it happened, right? Immediately after they blocked her, right? And she lost the election. Well, after that, right? Because there's a certain time frame that you have to do those things. So she only had a certain time frame that she could raise her salary. So he blocked that and she missed the window in order to raise her salary. Hey, Master G. And so after that, immediately after that, he tried to pass another law that would put the salary back, and it failed. It died. It died in committee, right? And then what happened was another ally of his created another bill. They call these bills shell bills. They are titled one thing, so they put him being able to get his salary back in this bill that was talking about Medicaid, Medicare, and all this healthcare stuff. They put his bill at the end of that bill. It's called a shell bill. They do this all the time. It's called a shell bill. And when they had his bill stuck in the back of that bill, right? So what they'll do is the person that proposed it will talk about what the general bill is about. They won't talk about everything. And I can guarantee you that these politicians don't read. They don't read all these bills, right? They don't have time to read 100 or 200-page bill all the way to the end. They want to read the beginning and get the summary of what this bill is about. So they call it a shell bill because then they stuff other things at the end of the bill. So they stuffed his thing that he wanted that failed at the end of this bill, and they call it a shell bill. And once they passed the bill, thinking that it was healthcare stuff in there, and it included his salary, it was passed. This is how they do this, right? So this is why you need to make sure, Bree, that you are paying attention. These bills are very important sometimes. And when I see bills that they're similar bills, one fails and the other passes, I feel like it was a shell bill for something. Because what they do is they test the waters to see if this bill going to pass on its own. And if it don't, then they create a shell bill and say, we'll stick it in here. Crazy work though. Somebody else championed the bill though. So when he's asked about it, he can say, I had nothing to do with that bill. I didn't create that bill. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Like, it's the games we play, right? But this is politics. This is the part of politics that people don't necessarily want to talk about or know about, right? But this is the part that you need to know about. After Tiffany followed, I had to stop watching a lot of YouTubers because they don't have the residents back anymore. People are following a certain. Well, Enrique, people get the right to follow whoever. Tina Williams, thank you for the super chat. Status quo, thank you for the super chat of $2. I appreciate everything that you guys send. As you can see, I upgraded my camera, so you're seeing a clearer picture of me now. I love that for me and you. Appreciate your presence of mind and mindfulness. Thank you. And so that's how his bill got passed. Now, here's my problem. He said another thing in the interview with Ben Bradley that really kind of, I would say, felt like a slap in the face, right? Um, I got you, Kenneth. Kenneth, it's okay. I just wanted to let you know. Oh, no, she was not ever. It's okay, Kenneth. It's fine. When I saw you stay there, I said, now, Kenneth, now he normally comes to my channel. We cool. I don't know what's happening today. It's fine, Kenneth. Okay. I accept your apology. No problem. Um, the other thing that he said was this. He said, a workman is worthy of his hire. Now, while I agree that a workman is worthy of his hire, right? Here's my problem. You're a senator, and that's fine. You do have a lot of skills that come with that. You do have a lot of knowledge and a lot of connections that come with that, right? But you got elected to a seat in an already traumatized community, right? So it's no way that you should have came into this community doing these politicking games, right? If you think you was worth that much money, you should have just stated it. You should have stated, well, I want to be forthcoming with something. My salary will be this, and it is because I am worthy of that, because these are the things that I'm going to do. And then you should have set out to do them. We are 3 months in and we are still waiting on a forensic audit. But yet you have a raised salary. I'm just saying, this is what really pissed me off, is that you are in a traumatized community. You have been elected into a community that has been raped by the former administration, kept in the dark about a lot of things, right? And here you come with the same nonsense. It looked like the same playbook, but just with a different cover, right? So what I'm saying is, maybe people don't care so much about how much you're making, right? It's really, really not about how much you're making. It's really about the fact that you didn't disclose that you were going to be making that. Because now you're looking like big stank, not little stank. You're looking like big stank. Stank, stank. Okay, that's what you're looking like. Because I would have been better if you had came and said, I will be making this. I believe I am worthy of that salary, because of this. Because this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a forensic audit, and then you set the RFP out and get it done. Boom. Then you say, I am going to get rid of any employees that are not board approved. Run that list, get rid of them. Boom. I am going to replace the finance director and the accounting firm. And boom, get that done. I mean, these were 3 or 4 things right there that you could have done right off the bat, that people would have been like, okay, he told us he was getting $200,000. He done did these 4 things right here. Okay, let's see where he keep going. That would have been better. But now you did this with your salary, right? You didn't disclose it. And then when you was caught, you didn't own up to it and take accountability. And you still have not done this forensic audit, but yet we sit here looking at a budget. And the youth, let me go to the youth. I got so many questions. We go to the youth services department, which was the ghost department, allegedly, that was headed by Leotis. And we don't have a forensic audit, but we making budgets. And nobody knows how much money we actually have because of the lies that was told. The lies was told of a surplus. The lies was told of this. Oh, now we have that. Oh, this was spent. Oh, a loan was taken out. Somebody make it make sense for me. If you are a workman that's worthy of his hire, where is the forensic audit? Where is the accountability for the non-board approved employees being let go? Where is the accountability for getting rid of everybody that was in Lil Stank's camp, including that lady over there that was the notary on that paper that the Dixmoor mayor said he never signed or saw? This dude, along with Mary Chris Valerie, are all following his already twisted line ass agenda. Well, Trina, these are the things that the residents need to come out and speak on and get to the bottom of, right? Because you're never going to be responsive, right, to someone sending you an email and asking you a question. And if you are, it's going to be some sort of response from the chief of staff when I didn't ask for that. So the only way you're going to be able to speak to him directly and have him know what you want to know or say what you want to say to him is if you show up to the meeting and you make your public comment. See, as a community, right, now that we know what this stuff looks like, at this first sign right here, this is the first sign right here, we should be packing the meeting out tomorrow. We should be packing this budget meeting out and asking questions about this budget. The first question I want to ask is, why couldn't the clerk post this tentative budget on the website so that we all could see it? Make that make sense. Why couldn't she do that? Why can't she post the agenda on the website like she's supposed to? I mean, granted, right? The only thing she has to do is post it on the door and send it to a publication. Well, I'm going to say this again. Not everybody subscribes to the Lansing Journal, and not every senior can get out of their home to go down to the building to look at the agenda that is posted on the door. Now you being petty and trifling. And for me, you can give me back Loretta. That's what I want. Because she made sure that agenda was posted on their website. She sent it to the publication wherever she wanted to send it. And then you could come and get a copy of it in the office if you wanted to. Okay? Hey, Miss Prima Donna, how are you? Anissa Starks, exactly. And the new and old trustees approve May and Stubbs agree. How is Keith Price still employed? Because Keith Price is on FEMLA. He is on Family Medical Leave Act, and he cannot be fired or let go while he is on Family Medical Leave Act. That would be against the law, and he would be able to sue the township if they did that. So they will have to wait until he comes back to work and decide what they're going to do then. And I can tell you right now, if they decide that he is of some use to them, he won't be getting fired either. Because as we can see, Robert Hunt is still there and still can't make hair nor tail of these numbers right here. So let me just, I'm gonna have this in on digital format. I FOID for it from the township. So hopefully it comes. When it does, we will go over it line by line. Okay. But I want to point something out. There is a few things up here that is disturbing. The first part is about the youth services department, which is the department that they wanted audited because Leotis was the director of it, and nobody knew who was employed under him in this department. And it had a budget and it had lots of money, right? So again, who is over the youth services department? Because we don't know that. Who is over that department? And it still is getting budgeted. How do you budget something and you don't even know, or we don't know? You might know, we don't know. And why would I trust Robert? Why would I trust Robert Hunt to tell me what we actually looking like? Forensic audit me, please. Forensic audit me, please. We've heard him read. Forensic audit me. Stop playing. Okay, but look at this. So on the general fund, for the general fund, right? There's a department. It says Department of Special Services. Department of Special Services, actually, the actual, okay, that has been spent says $91,009. Okay. The budget for 2026 says $216,000.168. How do we go from $91,000 spent to asking or saying now this department is going to get $216,000? And Department of Special Services, what do they do? Who is over that? Okay, that's my first problem on their page. Okay, that's just the first page. Then we go to the Department of Youth and Family Services, right? Their budget actual says, this is 228.25. Their budget actual right now says $1,195,767. Right? Now for the budget of 2026, they want to have $1,243,600. And we don't even know who is in their department, who the director of that department. Where did they get this money? I mean, is this number correct? We wouldn't know because we haven't had a forensic audit of that department, which was asked for. So we're not going to get a forensic audit. So you just going to come over and take over books that we thought was cooked? That's not a good look. That's confusing. That's sending a whole bunch of, I don't know what type of messages. So I'm asking. So then you got the TAP program up here, right? Their actual was $886,071. For 2026, you want $983,214. What we doing? We don't even have a list of activities or nothing. Have they put out anything for this TAP? Do we know what they're going to be doing? I just got questions. And if you sit at that table and you don't have questions, I got questions for you. My first question is, how do we even know that these numbers are accurate, that we are basing our next year's budget on? We have had no forensic audit. What? Okay, no problem with that, right? So we're going to move along. I have been over this paper. So I don't know if they're going to pay the loan off. So there's a loan payment. There was a loan payment for $950,000. Now this year they budgeted $3,170,000 under loan payment. So what you're telling me, are you going to pay the loan off? Are you gonna pay the loan off? Is that what we're doing? And where are we getting $3 million for the loan payment? Where is that money coming from? Possibly raising the tax rate. Right. I could tell you what the taxes have been raised to. So I'm gonna get to that in a second. But I still need a forensic audit of what is going on. Hold on one second. Let me mute my mic for a second. This is crazy. Hold on. Okay, I'm getting all kinds of calls. So they swapped the devil for the witch. It was wrong then, it should be wrong now. Okay? Interesting way of putting that. Okay? So let me back up then for y'all. So let me go back. This is the front of the Thornton Township General Fund. So let's go to the real estate tax column. And I really didn't get up here to be up here too long, okay? Because listen, I've seen somebody complaining about a long video. I ain't doing it. Y'all not gonna be out there talking about me on these streets. Okay, so let's go real estate taxes. It says as of 2/28/25, it says they have collected, I guess, $3,825,031. Budgeted for 2026 is $5,349,000. Let's see what that's a difference of. Child, let me see if I can tell y'all what that is a difference of. That is a difference of $1,000,000. $1,523,969. Okay? You would think a forensic audit would be the first thing they do at TT and Dalton. How quickly we forget. Oh, they ain't forget. Ain't nobody forgot. Ain't nobody forgot. I believe that Dalton's is actually in progress because I think Kiana Belcher was the one that spoke of it. I think maybe a few meetings back. And so I just haven't been back over there to check. But that's what they asking for taxes. Now let's go to senior taxes. So for the senior taxes, they have $2,314,269. They have that number twice. They have it for seniors and the youth. And then they have the budget at $3,103,000. That's what they have. Okay, and again, once I get this in electronic form, we will go over it, right? We're gonna go over it because there are some interesting things up here. Like I said, the Department of Special Services has jumped from 91,000 to 216,000. And who is even in that department? What did they? Can somebody tell me? Is anybody on here that used to work at the township? The Department of Special Services. What do they do? Hopefully, maybe I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it jumped that much because they are deciding to put back the mental health, and maybe that is the budget they're gonna need to put back the mental health piece that was taken apart. Okay. Status quo, yeah, that's what I thought too. That's what I think you can go on the website and look through their RFPs. I'm not sure. But these are questions that I have about that. I have a question about that loan payment. Do we have the money? Is that a in full payment? $3 million. You asking for $3 million to go to the loan payment. What? Then there's a line item on here that says community relations. It's on page 3 if you have the budget. It says community relations, right? Community relations as of 2/28/25 had spent, or I guess accumulated, $16,590. Sorry, my son was asking a question. But will it be a full forensic audit, which the village should be pressed to have? Both places should be pressed to have some answers. But anyway, the community relations, again, this is on page 3, $16,590. The budget that they're asking in 26 is $200,000. 200. So from 16 to 200. And again, I want to speak to somebody about this budget. Like, where are we getting these numbers from? I need to go back. Tonight I'll probably do it. I need to go back and look at the other budgets. Maybe if I can find them before Little Stank came, to see what these line items say during that one. There are too many questions, and in my opinion, it's looking like arrogance, but just might be stupidity. Miss Prima Donna, either way, I feel like you're playing a card game, right? You're playing a card game and you're shuffling the cards and trying to make us figure out what's happening. Who gonna come up with the ace? I mean, these are just questions that I have on this budget. Let me see. The Department of Senior Services right now is set at $500,000. Their budget is set at $500,000. $522,000 is what they're asking for. They're also covering 2 senior centers, the one in Calumet City and the one in Riverdale. Let me see. I will never understand this level of corruption. The balls to come right in and stick it to the residents is diabolical. Exactly. I need to go in the house. It's a perfect spring-like evening, but these mosquitoes is going to make... I know that's right. So they are scaling back on things like, so events was at $65,278. They proposed a budget in 26 of $50,000. I don't see how you propose a budget of $50,000 when you spent $65,278 already this year. So how is that can't even be the budget that you're asking for, because you already spent it. You spent that plus $15,000. Fix it, Jesus. Photography and printing has spent $95,345. But the budget you put here is that for 2026 is $50,000. Well, you've already exceeded that by $40,000. $45,000, really. So make that number make sense. There is a line item here that says consultant. $122,561, but the budget you asking for 2026 is $54,000. It's 2025. You didn't already spent twice that. This is definitely a Robert Hunt budget, because I'm not understanding these numbers. Don't make any sense, because normally you make a budget, right? This right here says actual. This right here says budget. Normally, you make the budget off of what you actually spent. This, not that. If you are following along, I'm on page 8 of the Township General Fund. If you look at the line item that says consultant, let's go to outreach. If you look at the line that says outreach, it says $269,449 has already actually been spent. What you're asking for on this budget is $150,000. You have already overspent by $119,000. What is happening? These are real numbers. I am not faking anything. Look at this. I'm gonna show it to you. It looked backwards, right? But look there on the bottom, that very last line. $269,446 is in the actual column, and $150,000 is in the budgeted column. Actual, this is for 2025. Budget for 2026. Make that make sense. How? This can't be a real budget. This cannot be real. On page 9, under liability insurance, $16,544. It is the actual. What they asking for in the budget? $13,000. I don't see how you can ask for $13,000. You already spent $16,000. That column is in the deficit. I'm amazed the ones that was so against the wrongdoing in the beginning is okay with it now. The love of money is the root of all evil is obviously not an honest mayor existing nowhere, even in Ohio. Child, the people that are honest don't want to be involved in this mess. They don't want to have to be fighting every day just to get simple things for the residents done. Okay? That's where that's at. Okay? People don't want to get involved in this. This is ridiculous. This doesn't even make any sense. You would keep the person who would not even willingly give us information, true information, mind you. You want to keep that person, or that person is still there. I ain't gonna say you want to keep them, but that person is still there, right? Should have been elected. Well, Trina, I ain't gonna say that, right? I'm not gonna say that because I would have wanted him to be more. I wanted him to be more versed in budgets, because this is why you need to be versed in budgets, right? Because this is a lot. This is a lot of different departments. This is a lot of different things. I didn't feel like he had enough knowledge to do that. Right? So for me, you pick the lesser, you pick the more, you pick the person with experience, and that's what they did, right? But for me, in order for Nate to be the person that was chosen, more people would have had to come out and vote than voted. This herein lies the problem, right? Because when you have people making the decisions that are going to vote someone no matter what they do, right? Then this is what happens. This is what happens. Hey, Succeeding Too. Hey, Grave Secret. How are you? That's okay. You're not late. So for me, oh, and I gotta tell y'all something. Listen, put a one in the chat if you remember that lady who was running as a write-in and she did the debate with Nate and Richard and them. Put a one in the chat if you remember. I cannot remember her name. I need to go look it up. I need to go look it up because I want to do something about her. Do you? Hey, Wyoming guy, I don't even see you there. How are you? Dave Bryson, hey. Let me know if you remember. Okay, I see you, D maintenance man. You remember? Did y'all know that that lady passed away? That's what I heard. Hey, Karen Johnson. That's what I heard, and I can't even remember her name. I'm gonna go and find her name. Keisha Richardson. Okay. Yeah, I heard that she passed away. Allegedly, I haven't been able to corroborate or confirm that um this story, but I'm gonna find out. She ran as a trustee. Was she running as a trustee? Yeah, I believe she was. I thought she was running for supervisor. Didn't she participate in that debate that they had that day? I thought she participated in the debate that they had that day. Hold on. No, not her. Not that one on Judge Petty. That's not her. Um Not her. I don't think it was her. It's the other lady. The one there was another lady that was running as a write-in. This particular lady was running as a write-in. I'm gonna have to find it. When I find it, then I'm gonna let y'all know. Hey Janice Green, how are you? The lady was running as a write-in, I believe. I need to when I find it, I'm gonna tell y'all who. Let me see. I'm gonna get the information and tell y'all when I find it. I don't remember the lady who was yeah, that's her. The lady that was at the debate at the church. And I think that's who. I don't remember her name, but I'm gonna look it up. I don't think it was Keisha Richardson though. I know she was the Republican candidate, but I'll get it and I will let you all know. But these are the things that I have questions about on this budget. And like I said, I would have wanted um Nate to be just a little bit more seasoned with budgets, because this is a lot. This is a lot. You need to be watching the person that's doing this budget, right? That would be the finance director. You would need to know where they missed up. You would need to know what these numbers, mean. And if you have something in the actual column and then you go over to the budgeted side and it has super inflated, why? Explain it to me. Make it make sense to me. Special recreation programs. Actual right now in 2022, 28, 25 was $5,254, and they're asking in the budget for $60,000. Well, at least y'all gonna get some home modification money. They have put $50,000 in that budget. That's gonna be a first come, first serve, and wow, that's gonna go fast. I want to know what all these contractual consultants are. They're getting a lot of money, whoever they are. $240,000. Who are these contractual consultants? What are they doing? I haven't even looked at the road and bridges budget. I think they only have a budget of $500,000 though. So many questions. He should have just waited until the forensic audit came in to increase his salary. Yeah, to me, you just need to do something, right? You need to do something. If you say, and this is what he said in the Ben Bradley interview, a workman is worthy of his hire. Okay, sir. We need a forensic audit. We need these non-board approved employees to be gone. And if you want them to say, then they need to be put on the list as board approved, and then they need to get approved for whatever they're doing. We need to make sure that everybody is following the rules now as far as being hired and working at the township. Everything should be in decent in order. Since you want to talk about the Bible, this is what needs to be done. And if you're worthy of that money, then we need to be seeing some work being produced. And we need to get questions answered. And we need to be able to send emails and have them responded to, or ask questions and be responded to, right? That's what I feel like. They need to recall Harris. He is not a Thornton Township resident, and everyone knows. Well, listen, here's my thing on that. Everyone keeps saying this, but this man owns property in Harvey. Whether he lived there or not is up for debate, but he owns property in Harvey, so technically, we have what we have. You could say the same thing for Clark. You could probably say the same thing for most of these mayors if you want to be honest, right? But because they own property in these municipalities, what can you do about it? Maybe the rules need to be changed. I don't know. I don't know. He already knew his salary was set, so he dodged Ben Bradley's questions. He tried, but for me, you would have been better off saying you don't have any comment than the comments that you said. Because you said, I never spoke out against her. That's going to be the soundbite heard around the world for me, because that says a lot without saying a lot. Then you said a workman is worthy of his hire. Well, we looking for you to produce for that salary then. That's all I'm saying. Right now, we still got a crooked, allegedly, finance director. We still have the same CPA firm, Casper. We still have non-board approved employees working. We still don't know what activities are actually being done. We or I'm sorry, we still don't know the budgets for said activities. We know what activities being done. We don't know the budgets for them. I don't think anything has been particularly laid out for the youth services department. And who is the director of that department yet again? We don't know. We knew that Leotis was the director when Lil Stank was here, but we didn't know who his employees was. Now we know nothing. That's okay, status quo, you fine. I don't even know what you said. Cannot remember everything from the 2024 warrant list, but wouldn't be in this Robert Hunt budget if he space switched the years listed in the columns. You never know. You never know. But that's why you need to be watching this budget. You should not let somebody who was involved in all of that mess be doing this budget. How? How? Owning property does not make you a resident. The rules are clear. What are the rules, Succeeding? We are seeing his word. What are the rules? The rules are you have to be a registered voter for at least a year. So that would mean he had to have his driver's license has to say the Harvey address. That's what denotes your residency. Where you live is on your address, is on your driver's license. And if he has that, you have to prove that he don't live where he say he live on his driver's license. It's as simple as that. That's what it is, right? And if you can't do that successfully, then here we are. I mean, to me, that's less of a problem than what is actually being done. I don't care nothing about that. For me, what I care about is what you're doing. Did you see the food boxes? I saw them on a video. It is disgusting for everyone that, especially seniors. I don't care about none of that either. I don't care about his name or anything. I don't care. I care about you not being upfront about, listen, if this is a marriage and we are married for the next 4 years, we are now the side piece. Because we being lied to, we being disrespected, we being addressed only when that person want to address us. We can't call them at night. I can't go to their house. Right now, we the side chick. I want out of this. I want out of this. There was proof he was not resident. They could easily prove it. My hands full in California with all the corruption in this state. I know that's right. It should all match. Know what you say you should. Food boxes are yeah, food boxes to me are the least of the problem. I don't care about his name being on it. I don't care about none of that. I care about you standing up there giving a speech about how you were going to prove yourself to the residents that you didn't get their vote, and this what you do. And like I said, if you had done the forensic audit, gotten rid of the finance director, gotten rid of the CPA, gotten rid of the non-board approved employees and all those salaries that didn't make any sense, that's 4 things you could have done immediately, and I wouldn't even been mad about your salary. Because I said, I would say, he moving. He's moving. The rules are what they are. The supervisor has to be a resident, not someone who has an old townhouse and Succeeding. You right there. You right there saying not he has to be a resident, not someone who has an old townhouse in Harvey. The townhouse is his business. What type of state or repair is in, that's his business, right? But as far as they are concerned, his residency was established. He's been a registered voter at that address for a year or more and is on his driver's license. Make no difference. He owned property in Flossmoor. He can own property wherever he wants. That is the least of the problems right now. Did the township get hoodwinked again? Why is he getting paid all this money from the township? Tyrone Phillips, we've been going over that for the better part of an hour. You might have to rewind back to the beginning. Okay, succeeding. Why did they drop it? Because they couldn't prove it. I don't know. I mean, y'all should have zoomed in to be on the upside. I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't care about none of that. That man is a registered voter in the city of Harvey at that address that he owns that townhome. Okay? Tyrone Phillips, you see what Miss Prima Donna said? Go look at the Crohn's bill. At the very, very end of this Crohn's bill was the legislation that was slipped in for his salary. And they call it a shell bill. That's what they do. They do it a lot. They do it a lot in there. And everyone knows it as far as the senators are concerned. Everyone knows it. This is what people do. This is how it's done. When you want to get something done, you get a friend to do it. You get a friend to put it in their bill that they know their bill is gonna get passed because it has support, and you put your stuff at the end of it, and boom, there you go, done and dusted. Was he the only one who benefited? DMG, it seems like it. Chris didn't even get the proper salary that he was supposed to get. As the senior trustee, he should be the highest paid one, but he's not. He gets paid whatever he's getting paid, the same thing that everybody else is getting paid. Hey, y'all, I think it's 90 pages of the Chrome. Yeah, that's a lot of pages. These senators don't be reading all that stuff. Matter of fact, they don't read it at all. They get the people that intern with them or the pages to read it and tell them what it's about. They get a synopsis and a summary of what it's about. Then they ask them, well, who is the author of the bill? They tell them. And then they formulate in their mind, I like this person or I don't like this person. If I do like this person, I'm going to vote yes. If I don't, I'm going to vote no. That's what goes on. They talk to each other. Hey, I got a bill coming up. If I support your bill, will you support mine? If you say no, you're not going to support mine, then I'm not supporting yours. This is what happens. These are the conversations that are happening on this floor or in these offices. This is what happened. So, right. I don't know who wrote the bill for him because I did not go and look it up. I did not go and look up that Crohn's bill. Because, listen, that's a nasty rabbit hole that you can get into, right? There are so many bills like that. That's crazy. According to the ordinance, all trustees are supposed to be the same. Edgar County Watchdog educated them on paying different trustees different amounts. I'm telling you, first of all, I have a warrant list that tells you that this is how it's supposed to be done. I'll show it to you at a different time, succeeding, or I will post it on my post. Carmen Carlisle was getting paid the most from the trustee's seat because she was appointed to the senior trustee's seat that passed away, the lady. So when she took over that seat, she got her pay, which was the highest out of all the trustees. So Carmen was making even more than Chris Gonzalez. In the how it was set up through when Frank was here, it was supposed to be that the senior trustee gets paid a little bit more than all the other trustees if they're newly elected or whatever. But I can show you that Carmen Carlisle was getting paid more than all of the other trustees because she took over a senior seat. This type of skullduggery goes on in many legislative bodies nationwide. It does. That needs to be stopped. Folks don't realize when a bill is made up, you can't stick anything in the back of that bill that has nothing to do with the beginning. Correct. It's called a shell bills. They do them all the time. She was making more, and Edgar County watchdog. Edgar County explains Frank was doing it incorrectly as well, not correct per the ordinance. People be interpreting these ordinance whatever way they want to, right? Edgar County watchdogs can say whatever he wants. Whatever supervisor sits in that seat can interpret the ordinance the way that they see fit. And if the lawyer agrees with them, then that's what's going to happen. I wish that it worked that way, right? It went by 8 terms, their pay changed. Like first term was 11,000, Carmen was getting 36,000. And she was, because she was appointed to a seat that was held by the senior most trustee. And that's what she was getting paid. He did it. They said they stopped those shell games. I mean, I don't know. Like for me, I have a lot of concerns, questions. And I'll be at the meeting tomorrow night. Okay. So I will be broadcasting. Yeah, Joyce Washington. So I will be broadcasting tomorrow night from the meeting. I think it starts at 5 because the first meeting is the budget. They're supposed to be going over the budget. I don't know if they're going to have public comment about this budget. I'm sure that Paul will have a lot of comments about this budget. Yeah, the law said you can't change the salary midterm. He didn't change the salary midterm. He had it changed before he even got in the seat, DMG. Through the shell bill. That shell bill, the Crohn's bill, it was a shell bill. So he had his salary changed before he even got in the seat. I'm behind a little. Did they approve the $7,000 raise since approving his salary? I don't know, but I hear that there's still talk about that's what they did or doing. I don't know if it's actually happened yet, sure. But that was the talk. It was still incorrect, but if the residents don't question, supervisors will do whatever they want. Correct, succeeding. Correct. That's why I'm saying that this meeting should be packed. This budget meeting and the meeting to follow, which is the township meeting, should be packed with people who have questions and comments. That's what should happen. It should. That doesn't mean that it will, but it should. 180K residents, they give the supervisor too much power. Well, listen, when you don't vote, when you don't come out to vote, and you really virtually don't care what happens at the township. Lots of people don't care what happens at the township because they never go there for services. They go to their village or their city hall, whatever village they live in, they go to their village for assistance, right? So lots of people don't care about the township because they never go there to receive services, right? So the problem is a twofold problem. We can't just blame him without taking our own accountability because this is a marriage, right? So because when a marriage fails, it's not just one person's fault, it's both people's fault, right? So it's his fault for being deceptive, and it's our fault for not coming out and voting like we should, and not coming out and paying attention to what's going on at the township. We have to take some accountability too. Outsider observation, are residents bombarding the trustees with emails and in-person demands for answers and concerns? NAPO has never talked to nobody anyway. Sure, I don't know. That I don't know. I don't know if people are emailing the trustees. I don't even know what the trustees are saying. Right? But at this point, this is a traumatized community. These are the first signs of the red flags. We do not need to be pausing here. We do not need to pause here. We need to go to these meetings and make comment and say, that's crazy work you doing in that seat. Because if you don't go to the meeting and make public comment because he's not accessible, you will never be heard. The trustees might hear you, but what they going to do? If they don't start voting accordingly, nothing. If they don't start having discussion during these meetings, nothing. I know somebody better have some discussions about this budget. I know somebody need to have some comments about this salary. Because did you know? Man, if I was a trustee, the way I would be standing up saying, I didn't know anything about this. And that's shameful. Shameful and pitiful. But what you all have to realize too is about these political machines. And there are political machines on both sides, not just Democrats, Republicans too. So you just can't come out and speak out against somebody that have the power to block you from being elected from other places. So if you want your political career to end here, then you gonna speak out, I guess. Me, I'm a crazy person. I be done spoke out, not care, and ran again. Because I'm just that crazy. Sure says, awful weird. Chris just got so tight-lipped with the residents like before. The trustees need to listen to the people. Sure. Let me say this, and I'm not making an excuse for Chris, right? But that man has been dealing with his father, and his father just died. His father died. He buried his father on Tuesday. And so for me, this drama at the township would not even be on my mind if my parent was sick. I would not care about none of this stuff that's going on. His father passed away. And he is dealing with that and had been dealing with that situation all through Little Stank, right? These are things that you all don't know because he never voiced them. But I can say something now because his parent passed away. Right? It's okay, sure, because he didn't state that, right? He never said anything. Do the two very vocal elected trustees from Dalton even talk anymore? I haven't heard them say anything in a meeting succeeding to. You made a great statement. Residents are traumatized, but they can't let up. Correct. Political careers are only for those who connected. Possibly. Chris is probably tired of being the only one for years to speak up. Correct, succeeding. If you go back and look at the board minute meetings, he was the only person saying no to everything starting in 2022. If I looked at the minutes correctly, he was the only one. He was voting no to everything. Go back and check the minutes. It's there. Correct. Chris never said what he was going through all the time, and Carmen also never talked about her. Correct. So many people were going through so many things, right? Like at this juncture right now, I mean, you didn't have to deal with 4 years of that, and now here you come with this that you had nothing to do with because you didn't have no power to do it, right? And you probably didn't know about it either because when you're doing something like that, you can't tell anyone. You got to keep that on the low. Right? Their pensions have to be at threat with malfeasance of office. So Chris has been dealing with that. And for those of you that don't know, his mother is still alive too. So he had two parents, right? One of them has passed away and he still has one to care for, right? So give him a little bit of grace. Let's give him some grace. That's why the hand removed Chris's name from everything like he did not exist. Like she did to Kiana Belcher. So did the other newly elected trustees reach out to the community? I have not seen any of them make a statement. And I don't know that they would reach out to the community. Maybe some people have called them, text them, emailed them, but I would not know that. I would not know if they did or if they didn't. And I'm sure that some of the ones that I do know probably did. Um, and so we'll see what happens at this next meeting, because um, that is what should happen at this next meeting. They should be very vocal, right, about everything that's going on, and everything going forward, right? What they expect. If they were blindsided by this, they should be vocal about saying so. They should say, no, I didn't know that. That's not going against him. That's saying they didn't know. Because if you didn't know, I want to know that you didn't know. I want you to tell me that you did not know. That's what I want you to do. Right? But we gotta make some comments. We need to show her. I will be there. Will I make a comment? I certainly will. I certainly will. Because I have been reporting on this for the better part of a year. I've seen so many things, and these red flags right here are red flags. We ain't gonna call them caution flags. We're not gonna call them stay tuned flags. We're not gonna do none of that. They red. They are riptide red. Get out of the water. That's what they saying to me. Get out of the water. They riptide red. Get out. Right? Yeah. She did not remove Kiana's name from letterhead in the website. She removed her picture. She removed Chris's name from everything. The only place his name appeared was on the minutes. Child, it still was petty. One of the trustees is in. I'm done. Master G, I'm not doing this with you tonight. Not doing this with you tonight. But those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Will I be making public comment? Absolutely. Absolutely, I will. Because I've been reporting on this for the better part of a year. I go to events, I go to meetings, I show up there. And like I said, he's a senator. So I expected him to lie. I don't know about other people, but I did. Because, one thing I can say I respect about him, right? He don't do interviews with content creators, and he don't do interviews with news people either. So I feel respected in that instance, okay? Because he do not do either. So sounds like a tea with the trustees is in order. I feel like some sort of informational. For me, let me tell you, this right here should have been a workshop day. This should have been a workshop, what they call a workshop, where you announce that there's a meeting, a workshop about the budget. And people can come and you're going to go over the budget line by line, item by item, and explain what is going to happen or what is happening. That's what should have been done. Because you're on summer schedule for the meetings, so you're only doing one meeting a month. You could have did a workshop for this budget at the beginning of this month, and then went through this line by line. Being funny, but I bet he don't talk to Regina for sure. For sure. And so, for me, like I said, this is not a red flag. This is not a yellow flag. This is not a where we gonna wait and see flag. This is not none of that. This is a riptide red flag. And this is the time to call it out and act and say, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. And if this is something that you was going to do, or that you knew that you did, You should have said that. And then you should have gave us some work for it. I already told you what it could have been. That would have been easy. Sure, the clerk lives, I think, in Harvey, and she's supposed to be associated with the McCaskill family, the lady running against Kiana Belcher. The clerk, listen, I just want that lady to just do her job. Just post the stuff where you can post it. Post it online for people for the seniors that can't get out, because you have it posted on the door. She also has a job at the MWRD as an engineer. You don't have time to be the clerk. I told y'all I don't like this double dipping stuff. I told y'all I'm not a fan of that, because it doesn't allow you to do a job and do it well. When you have two demanding positions, somebody going lacking. No, succeeding, he thinks because the majority of the people that voted for him are the people that put him in the seat, and they don't care. Right? They don't care. So would the TT lawyer, who's supposed to be the people's lawyer, answer y'all's concerns and how to form questions legally? I don't know, because they've never had to interact with this lawyer like that. I don't even know what firm this is. Was that even on the agenda? Did they pass hiring a new village attorney? I missed that. I'm going to go back and look in the minutes if she have them listed. But we can't get the agendas on the website, so I doubt the minutes is there. And if you watching me, sick of you. Sick. That I have to keep following for stuff that should just be on the website. Oh, Jesus. I heard it's difficult to get the clerk. She doesn't know her job at all. I know she has staff. The staff is very nice. I was in there today. I asked for the budget. They gave it to me, no problems. You so rock status quo. Why? Status quo, why you say that? I swear the first line of business would be a forensic audit from both. It should be. Because how are we doing budgets, and we can do a budget, right? As long as I know that there's a forensic audit in process. But you said from the last meeting that it was passed to do a forensic audit, but no RFP ever went out. So why you couldn't send out the RFP for the audit then? It was passed. He said the RFP never went out, so it wasn't never done. So why couldn't you follow through with that? Red flag. Red flag. Anyhow, they are not going to disappoint me. They are going to call him out on his. Well, here we are. Here we are. Now we got to see what we're going to do. We saw what they're going to do. We got to see what we're going to do. Who has oversight on how the clerk has to abide by rules? State. Yeah, it would be the state, because she's an elected official, and he really has no authority over her. I think old school Paul will have the courage to get the convo started with NAPO. I will be making public comment, Master G. I told you. I mean, I think maybe a fair amount of people will be making public comment this tomorrow. So, I think questions will be asked. For me, I don't feel like the residents should keep talking about this and beating themselves up and saying, "Oh, you all did this. You all okay. We did it, or they did it. So what you gonna do? It's done. Okay." What we need to do is start having conversations about what needs to be done going forward. We need to ask the question, right? And we need to show up and be present, right? And the content creators need to keep that foot on that neck. That's what they need to do. So if the TV station sued over a FOI, you could threaten that too. Yeah, I could. If they don't answer my phone, hey, Paul. Good evening. I hope to hear lots of public comments. We each have 3 opportunities to speak during the 2 meetings tomorrow. Paul, I gotta get okay, Paul. Paul, I'm making a comment this time. I'm making a comment. So Paul, tell me, I heard that the meeting starts at 5 because it's the budget meeting first and then the township meeting, right? We each have 3 opportunities. Yeah, because the first is the budget hearing. What time does that start? Because when I went to the township today, I couldn't read that stuff on the door. The door is tinted. That's funny, Master G. Okay, Paul, I'll see you there. I'm definitely going to be making public comment. So, um, 3 times is amazing. 3 times is amazing. I think it's 5 days to respond on a FOIA. I'll look it up. Yeah, it's 5 days, 5 business days here. So when you send your FOIA in, even if you send it into the morning, your first day doesn't start till the next day. And so, yeah. Thank you, Paul, for coming in. I'm about to get off, Paul. I'm done. Ain't no 2 hours or nothing, 4 hours or nothing over here. I have already given the clerk my 3 comments, and she said that my questions would receive answers. Did we have to send them to her beforehand, Paul? Because I was there today and I didn't do that. Do we have to send them in beforehand? I don't have any comments about the budget per se. No, okay. I don't have any comments about the budget. I have other comments for the general meeting, the next one. And so that's when I'll make my comment. But okay, that's good to know. I hope a lot of people come out for the budget tomorrow night at 5. The budget meeting starts at 5 o'clock. So I hope people come out for the budget and stay for the meeting as well. Gonna be hope it don't be too long, but I think it's gonna be fairly long. Because hopefully people have gone over this budget as I have, and I will continue tonight. And yeah, wow. Okay, well, that's all I have for you guys today. I don't want to keep you too long. Does anybody have any questions for me? Anything they want to say? They want to say? Paul, were your 3 questions for the budget, or were they like in general for because the township meeting is after the budget hearing? Well, the clerk will be right there. She have a terrible attitude, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Well, listen, thank you guys for joining me this evening. If you're just joining, you will have to. I submitted 2 questions for the budget and 1 for the attorneys. Okay. Okay, Paul. Hey, Miss Wisdom, how you doing? We're doing good, Miss Wisdom. I'm gonna call you probably tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Wednesday. I've been so busy. I have so many things that I'm waiting on voice in order to do some lives about some things that I need to bring to everyone's attention. And once I receive those, then we'll be off and running. Learn some new things tonight. Thank y'all. Oh, you're welcome, sure. Thank everybody. We can catch up over the weekend. Okay, good. All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. If you missed it, if you're just joining us, you're lurking in the bushes or whatever you're doing, you can rewind and see all that we were talking about tonight. I will be there at the meeting tomorrow. Yes, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, all of those things. I didn't even know I spelled that word wrong. I need to edit that. Ciao. Okay. And so I will be at the meeting live tomorrow. Thank you guys for always tuning in and showing up for me when I hit the go live button. And thank you to all of my mods, Dave Bryson, Jody, Justin, Foxy2, Roxy3, Nope, Not Even, Marcus Harmon, and Shanita Lanier, and Golfer. I haven't seen him in a while. I sent him an email, but he didn't answer. So I have his phone number, so I'm going to call him. But thank you to all of my mods who always make this a welcoming place for the people in the comments. And thank you all in the comments for showing up. I hope you guys have a great evening. Try to be good to each other. All right. Thank you.
I hope you wake up and your dog licked your makeup. I hope you get ready for work and you can't find your shirt. I hope you go on a date and your man asks for space with no place for excuses. I hope he chuck deuces. I hope all your plans fail with no money for bail and you end up.
Oh, I ain't want nothing, man. Just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, I ain't want nothing, man. Just wanted to tell you I love you.